I got some hands-on time with both Tudor Black Bay Pro and Tudor Black Bay GMT, root beer, stainless steel, and gold, whatever the model is called. So let's first start with the Tudor Black Bay Pro. I think that's the more anticipated one. That's the one that I was actually looking forward to maybe even purchasing for myself. After having the hands-on experience, unfortunately I only had the hands-on experience with the NATO strap version, not the stainless steel bracelet version, although I'm pretty confident that I know what the stainless steel version would look like and feel like in hand. I think Tudor delivered a lot of things that we were hoping for with this new model. A lot of people were hoping for a Tudor GMT in a Black Bay 58 case, and that's sort of what we got here. The only thing that we didn't really get from the Black Bay 58 line of watches is the case thinness. This one is quite a bit thicker than the Tudor Black Bay 58. It's about 14.5 millimeters thick, 14.7 millimeters, somewhere around there, and it definitely looks and feels thicker. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not overpowering. It doesn't feel like the watch is gonna fall off your wrist, like it's really hanging on for dear life. You know what I mean? Some watches you put on and they're too thick, they're too top heavy, and they just feel uncomfortable. This one didn't really feel like that, but it is still a bit too thick. Other than its thickness, it's actually an excellent timepiece. Really attractive design, of course a throwback to Steve McQueen Explorer. I really like the color combination on this as well. In person, it looks very attractive. I like that they went with the off-white color for the indices and the set of hands. I think a straight up white would look a little bit off and wouldn't work well with this vintage motif that Tudor is going for here. That fixed stainless steel bezel also works for me. I like what this watch represents and what this watch is trying to be. It's the same in-house caliber movement as the Pepsi GMT, the movement that we've seen before. Now, of course, back in the day, this movement had a bit of an issue with the date change. They have fixed it since, and so far these movements have not had any major issues. It's a high beat movement with 70 hours of power reserve. Really cannot complain about anything in this movement except for, once again, the thickness. I'm gonna sound like a bit of a broken record here, but the thickness, that's the issue with this watch for me. I would order it, I would wear it on my wrist if it were slightly thinner, maybe even 13.5 millimeters instead of 14.5 millimeters. And I know it sounds so petty, 1 millimeter, what's the difference? Ask your wife if you don't know. But it does make a big difference. It makes a difference on the wrist, and it doesn't wear as comfortably as my Tudor Black Bay 58 does. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. So the watch that I thought would be more appealing to me actually isn't as appealing, the Tudor Black Bay Pro, but the watch that kind of flew under my personal radar, but not so for other people, is the two-tone root beer GMT. Man, that watch looks awesome. First of all, it feels nice and hefty. It's not much heavier than the standard Pepsi GMT. It doesn't feel like the watch has too much weight added from the weight of the gold. It also doesn't look like yellow gold. In person, because of that color combination on the bezel, the gold appears almost like a rose gold color. It's not exactly as a Rolex root beer, but it also doesn't look like this yellow gold. It kind of looks like something in between. It is, of course, still just yellow gold, but it looks like that because of the way the bezel looks. It kind of changes the overall look of this watch. From talking to my AD, they mentioned that this version is actually their most requested watch out of the new releases. So the two-tone stainless steel and yellow gold is even more popular than the Tudor Black Bay Pro, which was a bit of a surprise to me until I saw one, until I tried one on my wrist. Now, the dimensions, the feel on the wrist is very similar to the previous generation Pepsi GMT, which I did a review of. It still has the thickness issue. Once again, Tudor with the thickness, I wish they would figure that out and these watches would be perfect. But even with the thickness, it's still, I feel like a little bit more balanced because it has a 41 millimeter case, which fits with the thickness better than the 39 millimeter case on the Tudor Black Bay Pro. So thickness here actually works, in my opinion, a little bit better. And overall value for money is great. It still has the same in-house caliber GMT movement. It's a true GMT movement with the local jumping hand, high beat, 70 hours of power reserve, just a fantastic movement. And you get stainless steel and gold sports watch for around 6 grand. Unbeatable value, and I can definitely see why these watches are so popular and will be very popular. So out of the two, I actually prefer the Tudor Black Bay gold and stainless steel GMT. I think that watch looks really kick-ass. Thanks for watching the video until the end. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We release new videos every week. And leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about these releases. Did they live up to your expectations? Did they not? We always enjoy reading your comments. Thanks for watching this one, and we'll see you next time.